Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this talk. So this is a little bit different talk. So this is not a technology talk. This is more about life. So how to balance work, study, the whole life, and how to get 42 hours per day. So a little bit different presentation from my normal talks. My name is Heli Helskyaho. People know me as Heli from Finland. This is my Twitter handle. Mother of 2 sons who are already grown-ups and wife of 1 husband. CEO for Miracle Finland, and also actually another company called Kantamestarit, which is not very active at the moment. I've been instructing at the University of Helsinki for quite many years already, especially the database courses. I've been writing books and I've been speaking quite a lot. And I have been working on IT since 1990 and with Oracle products since 1993. So quite a long career on this area. I'm specialized on data and databases. My education, so I have graduated from University of Helsinki with a master's degree on computer science and currently working on my doctoral studies. I'm also a dance teacher, so I have graduated from a school that is for dance teachers. I don't teach anymore, I do dance, but I love dance, especially classical ballet. Awards and recognitions. Cameron already said that I'm an Oracle Ace Director and Oracle Groundbreaker Ambassador. I was also awarded as a Developer's Choice Award some years ago. And I have been listed as one of the top 100 influencers on ICT sector in Finland for quite many years. I have been writing 3 books, and I have been blogging. Recently, not so much, but I do love blogging. I have also been writing several articles about different topics. These are my books. I have been speaking, so I do speak this year and I did speak last year, but I just put here all the traveling talks I have given during the past 3 years before pandemic. So I did travel a lot and I spoke a lot. About the studies, I'm working on my PhD. I'm teaching at the university. I have been attending as an organizer and a chairperson for ICD 2016, which was organized in Finland. Then I have been reviewing several ICD conferences after that. One conference we had here in Aalto University, I was organizing it and I was speaking there as well. So quite many things I have done in the academic area. So my studies are almost done, but I have changed the topic a couple of times. I still don't know what will be my final topic to graduate. I have been doing research. I will continue with my research quite a lot because it's still so much to do. I have been learning about machine learning and all possible things that might be useful in my research. So it's been quite a lot of studying for the past years. And the academic world is still a mystery to me. It is so different from the world that I have been living for quite many years in my career. So that's something I will figure out how the academic world works. So my real work, I'm a CEO for my company, which means I do sales, marketing, HR, everything, financial, whatever. And I'm also working as a consultant. So this is more than a full day job. So as my work, I already have more to do than I should have. I have plenty of hobbies. Sports is my favorite. Any kind of gym, Zumba, spinning, body pump, whatever. Pilates, yoga, stretching, all kind of things. I really like all kind of sports. Then also writing or reading. The or is here because I have learned that when I write, I cannot read. So when I'm writing a book, it's no point trying to read any kind of novel because I just can't read. I don't have the energy to read when I'm writing. So I can either write or I can read, but I can't do them at the same time. So when I'm finished with my writing project, I can start reading again. So this is a weird thing I have learned about my brain. I also love cooking. So the good thing is I love sports as well because cooking is a thing that gives you a lot of weight because I love good food. Hobbies and COVID. So when COVID came, I had to change my hobbies because I couldn't go to the gym anymore because of the risk of getting the disease. So we built a gym in our garage instead of spinning, I started running. I do stretching and I do remote yoga and all kind of remote classes that you can ever find. And luckily we have plenty of remote classes that you can attend in your own living room. So sports is still good. And I have been writing quite a lot during the COVID times. I wrote a new book and I have been writing articles and a lot of things. So it's been good time for writing things. And I have been cooking too much because now I have the time to cook. So yes. And I have been doing certifications, which is a great thing now because finally you don't spend your time traveling. You're not every morning and after an evening traveling to the office. You are not traveling around the globe and so on. So certification finally is being able for me to do. So I have passed quite many certifications during this 1.5 years, 18 months or whatever the pandemic has been. And now Oracle is offering free certifications. So if you haven't heard about those, go and check because certifications are good for learning and for showing that you have learned things. Am I busy? Yes, totally busy. And that's why people say I have 42 hours per day. That's how the title to this presentation came, because one of my friends says that I don't understand how you do that. So you probably have more hours in a day than we do. Maybe it is 42 hours. Well, yeah, could be. Is it easy? Because I often hear people say, yes, but it's so easy for you. I'm different. So are you really different? So why would you be different from what I am? I mean, you have the same hours as I do. So let's see. I was thinking I will explain you how I get there. So how did I get to the point I am now? It's not an easy path. So I would love to say it was a great plan. In the beginning, when I was born, I decided I will be an IT professional. I will be a groundbreaker ambassador, an Oracle Ace director, and so on. But no, if I'd say that, I would be lying. So I can't say that I always wanted to be an IT because I didn't. So I ended up to this career accidentally, totally accidentally. So there was no great plan behind anything. And I still don't know what I will do when I grow up. So I still don't have a great plan. So sorry to disappoint you. In high school, I took the IT course. There was exactly one IT course at that time. I took it because I was told it's useful. In the end, the teacher asked if anybody had any questions. Well, I did. I asked him, how do you start the computer? He thought I was joking, but I was not, because during the class, I didn't see anything. Because there was this one simple computer in front of the class, and all the tall boys were in front of the computer, and I was behind them. So I never even saw the computer during the class. So I had no idea how to start a computer. So this is how my career started. A very nice way. No idea how to start a computer. I liked school, and I was very good in school, and my favorite was math. But still, I was invited to a special math training because I was the best in the class and actually in the whole school. So it was a special training for students who were talented with maths. But I refused because I had my ballet. Ballet was the same, it was in the evening, and my ballet class was also in the same evening. So I preferred ballet. So I just said, no, I'm not that interested about math. So I was in a good position because our high school did not treat girls and boys differently. But still, for some reason, most of the girls took the short and easy math. And I don't know why, but this is how some way the culture is like that everywhere. So when I left high school, my grades were the best possible, and I had no idea what to do next. So it was quite difficult. So you would expect you know what to do, but I had no idea. My teachers were advising me. They said, you should be a medical doctor, you should be a lawyer. And actually, my math teacher said that I should be a lawyer because you are so good in figuring out things. He meant that when he was making mistakes, when he was explaining math, I always noticed what he made wrong in his example, but I never told it immediately. I waited for a while, so he got very confused. And then I told him, well, it was actually 5 minutes ago when you made the mistake, so fix that and everything will be fine. So he was a little bit upset with me, and that's why he said you should be a lawyer because you, you are so good in figuring out things. And the university. I applied to both economics at Aalto University, which was my plan A. I was thinking economics is my thing, and then math at University of Helsinki. That was my plan B. So I already told you I was very good in school. So you would expect that my plan A will work because I'm good. Well, it did not. I didn't get to economics. I missed it by so little it was impossible, but I did. So I was not accepted to economics, but I was accepted to math. So I started as a math student at the University of Helsinki. So next year, I was accepted also to study economics at the University of Helsinki, just to learn out that economics was probably not as interesting as I was thinking. But I studied both math and economics. And I was also accepted to a dance teacher school. I decided that's more interesting. So I kind of switched to that for a period to actually graduate from the dance teacher school. And then I continued my studies at the university and funded them by teaching in high school and teaching dancing, which was good because then I didn't have to starve. At the university, I also took a course on computer science because I was told it's useful. Okay, school is easy for me, so what could go wrong? I didn't understand anything and I barely passed the course. And that was so frustrating. So what's wrong with my brain? I took another course and the same thing happened. So I was thinking it cannot be the teacher because there was a different teacher in these both courses. So it can't be that there's a bad teacher at the university and that's why I don't get it. So probably it's something with me. So I don't understand things. So I did it again and again and again, and I always barely passed the course. And I really didn't understand IT at all. Finally, I passed all these courses you can take as a minor student. So I was a math major and computer science minor. So what can I do then? I still wanted to learn more because I have always enjoyed challenges. So I was thinking, if I do this long enough, one day I will understand. So I had no other choice but to go and see the math professor and ask if I could change to computer science. I don't dare to write it here, I tell you. So he looked at me like I'm totally crazy and he said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." But you are good with mathematics, but you are absolutely no good with computer science. So are you seriously going to change to computer science? Why can't you stay in math? And I said, well, you just answered the question because I want to learn computer science. So I want to change to computer science. And he shook his head and said, okay, I'll sign the paper. You can change, but you are welcome anytime when you realize you made a mistake. Well, I didn't make a mistake. I never went back. So I was a student for computer science and permission to come back to math any day when I learned that I made a mistake. But at that point, I found databases and programming. I got a job on the IT department of a factory that made computers. And that kind of made it more clear for me. Suddenly, it all made sense to me. And that's probably the reason why I still love databases so much, because they kind of explain to me what is my area in computer science, because computer science is such a broad area. You can't be expert on everything. So that kind of showed me the place. What is my place in IT? And working as at the factory, well, I was on the IT department, but I saw the factory every day. I kind of realized computer is not a mystery. It just has some parts, and those parts together make it work. So suddenly, it was not a strange computer to me anymore. So I understood what the professors were saying and what the computers are doing. So this was some kind of breakthrough moment for me to understand things. Then I prepared my thesis on optimizing nested SQL queries, but I did not graduate. So I was very close to be Master of Science, but I did not graduate because I had a family and I had a job. Why to bother to graduate? I didn't have the time for that. So I was working. I found my husband. I loved my job. I worked long hours. I had no time to finish the studies. I had two sons. I started a company in the year 2000. I took some courses at university to learn how to actually run a company because you remember I was studying computer science and math. I had no idea how to run a company. So I had to take separate courses for that. And I did learn. It was very interesting. And actually at that point, economics also started to be interesting to me because it made sense too, as a context of running a company. Then I convinced my husband, who already was a developer and had a permanent job, to apply to university to study computer science. But that was a problem because he was accepted and he studied and suddenly he was about to graduate. Remember, I was not graduated yet. And he just started his studies and about to graduate, and I'm still not graduated. A lot of pressure to me. So I really had to graduate before he does because he would tell me forever that he's a senior Master of Science. So I went to see the professor at the Department of Computer Science. He actually was a fellow student, now a PhD, running the whole faculty and so on. And I asked him, what should I do to graduate? So what courses am I missing? And again, one of those conversations that are quite embarrassing. He said, so why do you think you need to do something more? Because you already passed all the courses that are needed. So what kind of question is that? So I graduated that day. It was a little bit silly. So I never took the trouble to see what are the rules to be graduated. If I had taken that, I had been graduated years before. But okay, I graduated that day. And I was officially Master of Science for Computer Science. About Oracle, I learned about Oracle at the university, which is not the case anymore today. Not everybody learns about Oracle at the university. I also learned that there were projects in Finland that failed because of Oracle, which was not true, but it looked like that based on the magazines because they kind of made it look like it's an Oracle mistake. It was actually the way they used Oracle that was the mistake. My first jobs were not Oracle technology related. I created a store handling system with Pascal. I was working at help desk, IT support, and so many other things. My first job with Oracle technology actually started in 1993. As a DBA with Oracle 6, developer using PL SQL Forms 2.1, and if you are old enough to know this, you know it was a different world. I did both OLTP and data warehousing, and then I had some issues with my boss. I saw an ad about DB consulting job at Oracle, and I applied for that job. Just a joke. It was Sunday evening, and I was just very frustrated with my boss. And I was thinking, okay, I will apply for another job, and that's it. But I never thought I would get that job. To my surprise, they wanted to hire me immediately. They barely even interviewed me. They just said, you are hired. So 1996, I started with Oracle as a DB consultant. I was working with the same customer for some years. They liked me, I liked them. I worked with several versions of Oracle database. I also worked as a developer, database designer, different jobs. And I prepared my thesis for the university during this customer time. And I used Optimizer for several Oracle 7 and 8 versions to prove the theories. And at the same time, I optimized hundreds of SQL code for this customer. So it was quite a profitable thing for both of us, and I learned so much. By the way, this is the time when I spent most of my nights reading because I wanted to learn more. I have always been interested in data, so naturally data warehouse was always the thing for me. And then Oracle bought Express product family, and nobody was even able to install them in Finland. I found out the problem, I fixed the problem, and actually for some time I was quite popular at Oracle Finland. So even the board members wanted to come and shake my hand. It was not a tricky thing. I just accidentally learned why it was not able to be installed. So yeah, but my fame didn't last long, unfortunately. Then my first son was born. And during the maternity leave, I was still helping this customer because they have some dynamic SQL that nobody else dared to maintain. So I helped them still, even though I was not working. After some years, I wanted to change the customer because all my systems were already in production. I didn't have enough challenges and I didn't learn anything new anymore. So I was thinking I need to do something new. And I started with a new customer. I actually worked with them 13, 14 years. So I do like long projects. But I learned all the time. That's why I liked it. Now, at this customer, my main role was database designer. And I delivered the DDLs for those people who were in charge of production. I also checked the performance, tuned SQL, created new agile development process, evaluated tools for UM modeling. I was a project manager. I do a lot of things. So that's why I kind of enjoyed the position because I had so many things to learn and do, and none of my days were the same. There was always something new. In 2000, I started my first company. I was the CEO and full-time consultant, so I was quite busy. 2010, I joined Miracle Finland as a CEO and full-time consultant. 2014, I realized I cannot work so much. So I told my customer that I cannot continue because I'm the CEO. I have to pay attention to my company. So ever since I have been the CEO and part-time consultant. So I only do some consultancy nowadays. I speak, I write, and I lecture. I also love user groups. So I'm very glad that you are here because you have noticed the same fact that I have noticed. User groups are worth it. So I was elected to the board of Oracle User Finland, or User Group Finland, can't remember which year, but many years ago. And 2007, I started as the president, even though I always said I will never be the president. Also 2007, I was elected as the spokesperson for EOUC, the organization that is organizing this event. And I retired some years ago. But user group is the place to meet people, to network. And if you have good network, you always have a friend who can help you if you have a problem. So networks are extremely valuable and you can learn. So attending all these sessions, you learn so much. So user groups are the place to be if you want to have a serious career on IT. So to me, it made possible to meet international colleagues face to face. I was encouraged to speak. And finally, I was encouraged to write a book. So while writing the book, which I enjoyed a lot, I suddenly realized that it was actually a dream that I had in high school. I wanted to be an author, but I completely forgot that until I was really writing. The PhD I'm working on, I have always studied. I love learning new things. And I realized that it's a good thing to get a diploma about things that you have learned. I already mentioned the certificates, the same thing, a diploma that shows that you have learned things. And when I started my studies, I realized that I always dreamt about doing a PhD. So kind of dreams that I had in my life, but I already forgot them. So fulfilling dreams is actually very nice. So today I said I'm doing a lot of things, but getting to this point was not a straight path. It was not something I always knew. It was just something that happened because I worked very hard. I always wanted to learn and I always wanted to work because I think it's important in life. So what are my skills? My number one skill is prioritizing. So I prioritize all the time because I can't do everything. So I need to do those things that are most important first and so on. So I prioritize all the time. My other super skill is making decisions. So I make decisions very fast and I'm ready to change the decisions if I learn more. But I can't stay long making a decision because then I'm already late with everything else. So I make decisions very fast. And I do love to learn. And I think that's one of the key here, because I enjoy learning new things. A skill that I recommend to learn, and after that you learn this, learn another skill. So first of all, learn to say yes. Because if you wait too long, somebody else will get that opportunity that you were offered to. Well, after I have said yes too many times, now my job is to learn to say no because I have too many things to do. But that's another story. Learn to say yes, because if you get an opportunity, do not forget to say yes to get that opportunity. You have time later to be afraid and regret your saying yes. But if you hesitate too long or you say no, the opportunity is gone. So learn to say yes. Don't be too afraid about saying yes. Well, work and family, it is always balancing. So do not expect that everything will be easier when something happens. Like when the kids go to school, when they do this and that, when this paper is ready, when this and that, then everything will be easy. No, it will not. It will be the same. Some other pressures will come and take your time and your energy. So it is always balancing. Don't expect it to be different one day because of something. When I started my first company, my boys were 1 and 3. So you can imagine it was not easy. Uh, and I was thinking, when they are teenagers, when they are bigger, my life will be easier. They can maintain their own things and so on. Come on. If you have teenagers, you know what happened here. Teenagers are the worst. So it was so easy with 2 boys, 1 and 3, compared to 2 teenagers. So no way, did not change any way easier. So don't think this kind of things, but keep the priorities, because you and the family must always come first. Everything else is second, third, or whatever. Uh, I only started traveling when my younger one was 8 years. This was my personal decision. I'm not saying everybody should do this, but you have to make your personal decisions how you want your life to go. This was my decision. And I started traveling very slowly. 2007, I made a trip to Croatia and I took the whole family with me. This was my first international presentation at the Croatian user group. Make sure your family knows what you are doing, because if you're just traveling and your family is not aware why you're traveling, they will not like it. So I took the boys to the office to see what I do. So they knew what kind of job I do. Okay, my younger one told in a kindergarten that mommy is reading and writing emails and daddy is playing with computer. So I'm not sure if this was a success, but anyway, my boys knew how my office looks like and what do I do. And I have always taken family members to attend events with me so that they know I seriously work when I go to a conference and so on. So let them know what you are doing. But take care of you, because nobody else will take care of you. You have to do it yourself. Rest, eat well, enjoy life. And to me, at least, physical exercise is a must. If I don't exercise, I can't handle all this. Outsource. You don't have to do everything yourself. So I have a wonderful lady who comes and cleans my house, so I have more time for my work. There's many ways of you to outsource the things that you don't have to do yourself, so that you will have more time to the things that you really have to do yourself. Whatever you do, never ever sacrifice yourself, and do not feel guilty for thinking about yourself, because your main job is to think about yourself, to make sure that you are okay. Put on your own oxygen mask before helping those around you. If you can't breathe, you can't help anybody. So make sure you are okay and fine. The traveling. Well, I told my husband about this presentation. I asked him what to say, and he said that traveling makes life busier than anything else. So if I would like to make my life easy, I would stop traveling, which I have done now for 18 months. Well, it didn't help. My life is still busy. But anyway, traveling makes life more difficult because you are busy before the trip. You are busy during the trip, and you are busy after the trip, and you are so tired after the trip. Jet lag and all that kind of stuff. So it really is tiring. I sometimes take a family member or the whole family with me when I travel. It is expensive, and I know not everybody can do this, but for me, it was a necessity. I could not have been traveling without this possibility. Well, a friend at the gym asked me, "How are you today?" I replied, "Great, never better." She replied, "How can you always be so happy?" Well, I said, "Well, it's my life. If I'm not happy about something, I change it, and then I'm happy again. So it is your life, and you have the control over your life." She only said, "Wow." And actually, afterwards, she said that she's been thinking what I said and she has made some changes in her life. So after such a short conversation, wow, I would say. So if you like what you are doing, you can have 42 hours every day. So it's all about the motivation and liking your life. If you hate your job, you hate your life, you only have 1 hour every day. Love your work. If you don't like your work, change it. I already said that IT is a broad area. You can still stay in IT and change your job inside IT, or you can leave IT and do something different. The world is full of different kind of jobs, so don't complain about your job, change it. Love your studies. Learning new things is inspiring, and do not be afraid of challenges. Reach for the stars and do not forget to dream. I forgot the dreaming for a while, but after I started again my studies and I wrote the book and so on, I found the dreaming again. So I found again that there are things you should be dreaming about and they will come true if you so want. Because I wouldn't have been writing or studying without my dreams. Very important advice. Keep distance to the negative people. They will take all your energy away if you let them do that. Do not let anybody else define who and what you are and what you are capable to do. Don't let these people do that because it will be the end. Ignore pointless negative comments. Good comments are always welcome because then you can improve yourself. But negative comments, no way, not worth it. These people should not be around you. Believe in yourself. Um, this is something I work every day because I tend to like all the people, but I try to learn that not everybody wants good for me. So those that are negative and trying to put me down, I keep distance to these people. And I'm also not good with feedback, positive or negative. It's a struggle to me every day, but I know feedback is very important for me to improve myself as a person and as a professional. So feedback is good. Just the way you give feedback to other people is important. You should give it in a way that it improves that person and not makes the person look bad. IT is not an easy path. So since you have chosen IT, you already know that you made a big decision on your career. It's hard and it needs hard work. So you can't be lazy and you can't wait for inspiration. You just have to work. And that's my advice. Don't wait this sudden inspiration to come and then start working. Just work and the inspiration will come. There are no shortcuts. So everybody wants to be successful until they see what it actually takes. I already mentioned my ballet career, and I can say this is the truth. So you have to work hard to achieve what you want. And then there are people who will come and say, you got it very easily, and it's always so easy for you, and so on. But you know the truth. This is really not easy, and life is never easy. But it's about the attitude, how you take the life and how you move on. Well, to my secrets. Well, in 2017, I asked my elder son, what is my secret to get so much done? So he said, you spend so much time on the sofa and you have no hobbies. Oh my God, what does that mean? Well, I work in our living room on the sofa, so that probably means that I work a lot. What do you mean I don't have hobbies? Well, I asked him if workout, cooking, reading, are they not counted as hobbies? And he said, yeah, but they give you more energy than they take away. So for some reason, he was thinking a hobby will take your energy away. And since my hobbies were giving me more energy, they were not hobbies. Interesting idea. But I think this means that thanks to my hobbies and thanks to the place that I like to work, I can get so much done. I did the same question to my younger son, and he said, "You love to make so much fuss about everything, and that's why you get so much done." I have no idea what he meant. So, okay, I probably investigate a lot of things, and I want to be involved in many things. I don't know, have no idea what he meant. So during the pandemic times, my elder son told me that there was a debate in social media about family versus career. And most people said they would choose career. So my son replied to them, "My mother always puts family first, and you will never achieve as amazing career as she has ever thought you choose career. So if you choose career, you will not get this kind of amazing career." Doesn't sound strange? Because her secret is that she has the right priorities. So if you don't choose the family as priority one, he thinks that your career will never be that amazing. And I really was so proud after this reply, because I really think priorities are the things that keep your life good. So my small tips and hints. Well, take first small, well, you have small jobs, complete them immediately. Because if you don't do that, you will have a long list and you feel very drained. Write lists. So if you have undone things in your head, it feels like it's like 1 billion things you have to do. But if you list them in a paper or somewhere, you can see that it's actually only 10 things to do. And then you can prioritize them. It makes it more concrete. Ask for help. People are very willing to help. So if you need help, ask help. Don't hesitate. When I was writing my book, the boys cooked. So I didn't have to worry about lunch or dinner. It was served to me because they saw that I was too busy with my work, and they made sure I get fed. The best thing I have done was to teach my boys to cook, I think. One of the best things in my life, because it's a valuable skill to know how to cook. On Saturday or Sunday, I always prepare my next week. So I add everything in a calendar, also my sports activities. And I will change it during the week, of course, because you never know what will happen. But at least I have a plan for the week. And the calendar reminds me about things I should do, even the sports. So I don't have to remember things and get stressed about remembering. The calendar knows it, and I just have to do what it tells me. Remote work for me is more efficient. So for me, it's been great that I have been able to work remotely, because I don't have to spend time in traffic. I can do laundry, dishes, spend time with family, time for exercise and so on during the day without the hassle about traveling. And if I'm tired, I take a nap during the day. 15 minutes is enough. And after that, I feel as good as new. So if I'm tired, I take a nap. And suddenly I'm ready to work again and my brain is rebooted. Listen to your body. This is a skill I learned during my ballet career. And I'm very grateful about this skill, because it is important to know if your body is tired and whatever it is. So I do work during weekends, but if my body tells me that I am tired, I will rest. Be a man. So I love this picture. So this man here, he doesn't look so attractive, but when he looks at the mirror, he thinks he's very attractive. And the woman looks pretty nice, but when she sees the mirror, she thinks she looks fat and horrible. So be a man here means that be like this man in the picture. Trust yourself and don't think that you are horrible and you don't know anything. Trust yourself and see a perfectly wonderful person in the mirror. Trust yourself. If you learn that, you will do great in life. Because you make your future. If you don't trust your future, who would? So what can you do? Be an example. We need examples in the world. Whatever you do, make sure that you feel okay to see the mirror after that. So what you did was correct. You didn't insult anybody. You didn't hurt anybody. You didn't make a decision that was wrong. So make good example, be a good example, make good decisions. Be proud of yourself and show that. Take your space, but not on somebody else's expenses. Most of all, be yourself. Do not try to be somebody else. That is very, very energy consuming. So be yourself. You are perfect as yourself. And support others. Support and help others, because that will also give you energy when you can feel that you are useful to other people. Be nice to other people. It gives you a nice feeling when you can see that you have been nice. Working from home during COVID times, it might get very lonely. Well, maybe remote parties with friends, maybe calls, maybe writing letters. You know, people used to write letters. Maybe you could do that again. The days might get very long, too long. Make sure you have breaks and make sure you have some free time. Maybe mark it even in your calendar. This is my free time. I'm going for a walk. And every day is the same. It feels very, very boring. Make sure to have weekends. So make sure to have something different in your week. Not every day should be the same. There are so many free virtual events available. So this is the best possible time to learn, because you don't even have to travel anywhere to learn. So attend these events. Maybe do some certifications. I mentioned Oracle is offering free certifications until end of this year. Maybe do that. Maybe find a new hobby. Call a friend you have not heard for a long time. Do something that you have never done before. And change all this bad to a good, because now you have possibilities you didn't have before because of the strange times. So do something interesting and nice. So the summary I talked about today. Life is not easy, but you only have one life. So make sure it's the best. You have all the tools to change your life if you don't like it. And I think it's your responsibility to change it, because your life should be wonderful. IT is very hard business. We have long hours. We must be ready to learn new things all the time, which can be very, very hard. But if that is what you want to be an IT, you want to learn new things, then go for it. Don't let anybody to say you can't do it. At the moment, I could not imagine myself doing anything else, because I seriously love my job. And as I explained, this was not my great plan. This is not that I always knew I want to be an IT. I ended up here accidentally, and I'm so grateful about it. So I really love my job, and I'm so glad I found it. My high school teachers still do not believe that I chose IT, but my parents do, because they know me. They know I love challenges, and they know I hate giving up. So they kind of knew this will be my choice. Thank you very much for listening. And I'm very happy to answer some questions before I let the next speaker on the stage. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such a brilliant presentation, as you always present, and a motivational speech, Heli.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time. Actually, I have a few questions before we let the Connor get in. Do you use any application to prioritize your work, Heli?
No. So I prioritize all the time. So it's kind of in my head. So in a way, I do prioritize in using my calendar. So I put everything in a calendar. And while I do that, I kind of prioritize things, but I change them all the time, because I would say I do prioritizing 100 times every day. So I try to do everything without, well, if I have too much bureaucracy in life, it it becomes a burden. So I try to do everything as lightly as I can. So I only take tools if it's a necessity. So my tools mostly are my calendar and a paper and pen, or a note in my phone. So I usually write notes in the phone, just like I do on a paper, similar kind of notes. So what are the jobs I haven't finished yet? And what and I might also add some kind of deadline or priority or something in my notes, so that when I'm prioritizing my day, I can see what's something I should consider today. But probably calendar is my number one tool.
Okay, perfect. I also interested how you spend your weekends. I mean, do you work on weekends, or you just spend your weekend time, your family, your with your hobbies and so on?
Well, it depends. If I have work that needs to be done during the weekend, or if I feel like working, then I work during the weekend. But if I feel like I'm too tired, I sleep, I exercise, I spend time with family, I do whatever I feel I should be doing. So I don't take stress about weekends so that every weekend I must work because I have so many undone work. I kind of think, how do I feel now? Because I know Saturday and Sunday are the days that I should recover from the week. So I listen to my body and my mind. So how do I feel? What should I do this weekend? So last weekend I was studying because I felt like studying. Next weekend, I don't know. It depends how I feel. So listen to your body and your mind. How do you feel? What is that you feel like during the weekend, because it is your time. But I do spend a lot of time with the family because I think it's very important. And spending time with the family also keeps the priorities in right place. Then you always remember why family is number one. So really encouraged to spend time with family as well.
Yeah, thank you. And the last question from my side. I don't know if anybody has any question, but I have the last question, if you don't mind, Heli.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm really interested. What was the most challenging decision you made in your life that changed your life completely?
Ah,
That you
a
can share
lot
with
of
us.
yeah, a lot of decisions like that, I would
I
say.
mean, related with the career mostly.
Mhm. I think I mentioned that I worked with one customer for a very long time, and then I decided to change to another customer. I think that was an important decision, because if I stayed with the first customer, which was very nice customer, I really loved to work with them, I would have stopped learning because everything was ready. They were not taking new versions. They were not taking new technologies. If I continued working with them, I would have stopped learning. When I changed to the new customer with completely different environment and tools and so on, I had the possibility to learn again. And I think the best way to learn is to work. So of course you need to know the theory, but you need to have the practice as well. So I think that was a very important decision, because I could have continued with the first customer. It would have been an easy choice. I already knew everybody. I knew the environment. I knew the technology. I could have done that, but luckily I didn't. It was a good decision to change and kind of start from the scratch again and learn new things. And another thing probably is starting studying again. So it's not a normal decision in my age to go back to university to study, but I think it's been worth it because I have been learning things that I didn't understand when I was there the first time. I was too young and too unexperienced to to really understand what I was taught. So now I'm more capable of kind of taking the knowledge. So that probably was also a very good decision in a career.